Tech Talk Tuesday with ASW. I'm Ben Harmon, and today we're going to be talking about how to clean and sanitize your mixer. So we've got some things here. We've got an old analog mixer here, but analog and digital consoles, the process is similar. The really important thing we want to make sure that you don't forget is that you should probably consult your manufacturer about the best cleaning policy for your board. So you always want to make sure that you contact them to make sure you're not going to do anything that's going to hurt your console or otherwise negatively affect it. So always consult your manufacturer before you start putting any kind of chemicals on. But we're just going to kind of go over what it would look like for this board here, and probably some very similar protocols for other manufacturers. So it's very very simple, really. We're going to use some brushes and rags. We've got a vacuum cleaner here with a brush attachment on it, and then we've got some solution here, which is 80% alcohol and 20% water. You can also use certain types of Windex. Again, you probably want to consult your board manufacturer for exact types. Sometimes some chemicals like Deoxit or Deoxit's Fader Lube can come in handy. Again, consult your manufacturer. I think most digital consoles probably aren't super happy about that. Sometimes if you have plastic runners in there, the chemicals can harm it. So always consult your manufacturer, but those things can help, if you've got a sticky fader or something. The other thing to keep in mind is that it's much easier to keep a console clean than it is to clean it after the fact. So with that in mind, always make sure that you keep food and drink away from it. Keep a cover on it, so that no dust can fall when you're not using it. Wash your hands before you start, mixing. Some of those things, are really good. Using the right label tape, you can get that on Amazon, or you can contact us and we can get it for you. But make sure you're not sticking duct tape or even gaff tape on your board, because they can leave sticky residues, which you don't want. So again, easier to keep a clean board than it is to make it clean afterwards. So those are just some suggestions to make sure you're doing the best you can to protect the investment you have in your console, and keep it working well as long as you can. So with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to start by just gently vacuuming it. So we'll vacuum it just real quick with a brush attachment here. Once that's done, we can go back and we can kind of get in some of the details there. So we've got some brushes and some cloths here, so we can kind of go around. We always want to be careful that we're trying to sweep dust or dirt away from any controls such as faders or knobs. So we're just trying to make sure that we can kind of clean all this up. If you need to use, a little bit of a solution to get something off, you can do that. But again, we're just trying to make sure that we don't get anything inside a fader channel or inside a knob. So we're always going to want to try and brush away from any controls. This can take quite a while. We won't do the whole thing here. But take your time, you set aside some time to really get in there and get out the dirt and dust between everything. And so we're just going to do a couple of channel strips here, but brush around. If you're feeling like you need to, oftentimes you can pull these knobs off. So we can pop this knob off here, and then now we can actually get in a little bit closer around here. Again, being careful not to make anything fall inside, and then we can just pop it back on once we're done with it. If we can get that to go back on here, maybe. There we go. There we are. Same thing with faders. Just be real gentle and real careful, but they will pop off. Again, consult your manufacturer. Make sure you're not going to do any harm. But you can really get in there. Take your time if you so desire. And so once you've done all that, recommend take the vacuum, go over it once more. Get up any loose dust that you've created from brushing all that off. And once you've done that, hopefully you've got a nice clean console there for you. And so then the next step would be to sanitize it with some cleaning solution. So you always want to make sure you're not spraying or pouring liquid on there. So always use a rag or a cloth or something, and just very very gently moisten it. Make sure that it's not dripping or not wet. And then again, you're just going to want to try and wipe around any faders. Before you do this, you're gonna wanna test it, just test a small, maybe the side or the back of your console. Make sure that it's not gonna peel any paint, make sure it's not gonna pull any markings off of there. Again, this is why it's such a great thing to consult your manufacturer before you start doing this. So we're just gonna, go around gently, and a lot of the times probably the highest touched areas, are gonna be the front of the console here, where your palms can rest, and two, your different your faders and your knobs. If you want to go a little in depth, when you've got your faders and knobs pulled off to clean, you can go ahead and give them a good sanitation there too. But want to make sure that they're fully dry before you put them back on. So that's kind of the basics of how to clean your console. Other than that, just make sure you're real gentle with it. See how much dirt's coming off this one here. It looks like we might need to go back and do this again. But be gentle, be kind to it. Consult your manufacturer. Once again, I'll remind everyone that, and have a nice clean and sanitized board. I'm Ben Harmon. This has been ASW's Tech Talk Tuesday. Have a good one, and we'll catch you next time.